At this time, I'd like to invite Katrina Jones to the podium to give us the occasion.
Good afternoon, Mayor Bowser, Councilmember McDuffie, district officials, ANC 5 commissioners, residents of Delta Towers, community members, neighbors, family, friends, former board members, and my distinguished sorors of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. As the building development chair for the Delta Housing Corporation of the District of Columbia, it is an honor to stand before you in this moment of new beginnings to share with you today. In celebration of my 24th wedding anniversary to my best friend and biggest advocate, Charles Jones, and the 21st birthday of my youngest son, Lamar, it's safe to say that October 1st is what I would consider a groundbreaking day. With that being said, I'll add to the list today. Today, the Delta Housing Corporation of the District of Columbia breaks ground with you, DC. We are standing on a foundation of the new building that will preserve 179 one-bedroom affordable units for seniors and persons with disabilities. This day has been a long time coming. Arthur Ashe once said, "A wise person decides slowly, but abides by these decisions." Every day, every slow day, for the past 8 years, we were full of decisions made by wise people. In abiding by those decisions, finally, we're right here together on this day. How did this initiative come to fruition, you might ask? According to Alice T. Davis, the founding president of the Delta Housing Corporation of the District of Columbia, this concept came to fruition the day that Delta Towers opened its doors to its new residents in 1981. In 2009, 3 years after joining the board of directors, I began working on this development project. Early in 2010, we applied and we were denied the 9% low-income housing tax credits. Well, as Deltas, we just couldn't accept no. We had to find out why our proposal was rejected and what improvements we needed to make to get that funding. So graciously, upon request, the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development, Neil Albert, and his team met with us at the Wilson Building. They informed us that our concept for providing additional affordable housings for seniors was a good one. However, the city was only funding shovel-ready projects. That was much needed and appreciated feedback for many reasons. I don't know what you heard, but what we heard was that our concept was a good one. Our concept was a good one, and our concept was a good one. Bruised feelings aside, that was enough for us not to be discouraged. Determined to increase affordable housing for seniors and those with disabilities, know that day simply transformed into, we need to find another way. So in September 2010, we established the Delta Housing Corporation of the District of Columbia 2, whose sole mission was to develop a building on this parking lot and to preserve affordable housing for seniors in an area encapsulated by gentrification. Our concept was a good one, remember? And because of this, in December 2010, the district decided to back our plight as we received $400,000 in pre-development funds from the Department of Housing and Community Development. Now, the question was, how do we turn this good concept into good, groundbreaking, worthy, affordable homes for seniors and disabled citizens? Over 8 years, we met, we talked, we listened, and we acted. Some didn't believe we were still working on this project. Oftentimes I was asked, what's going on with the Delta project? Is there ever going to be another Delta Towers? And somebody even said, you know, just sell and build something really, really nice for the seniors out in the suburbs. That may sound like a bunch of noise to you, discouraging noise. However, this wasn't noise to us. That chatter served as motivation for greatness. That chatter became the bed that we tucked our perseverance into long after late night meetings. Long after late night meetings. We stayed focused, we met, we talked, we listened, and we act. And in 2016, the Delta Housing Corporation 2 selected Delta Community Partners, which included MMJ Development and Dante's Partners, as our new development partners. Backed by their experience, we made the bed again with the same motto. We met, we talked, we listened, and we acted. In April 2016, our application for this project was submitted for consideration for those same 9% low-income housing tax credits. On November 8th, 2016, a few board members, including myself, gathered at the Wilson Building again, but only this time, that good concept was awarded and selected for the 9% low-income housing tax credits. We met, we talked, we listened, and today, my friends, we act. We act because we're here to break ground for a new building that will preserve 179 affordable units for seniors and persons with disabilities in the District of Columbia. On behalf of the Building Development Committee and the Board of Directors for the Delta Housing Corporation of the District of Columbia, I thank you for your support and your faith in our mission to do what we're doing today, breaking ground. Thank you.
My name is Karen Turner. I am Assistant Secretary for the Delta Housing Corporation for the District of Columbia, and I'm your MC. At this time, I will call our Treasurer, Merlene Price White, and Angela Jackson to reveal the name of our new building.
Okay, so you're going to do the reveal part. Yeah. Okay. We decided to name the building Fortitude because it represents strength, courage, hope, and a desire to serve the underserved.
Fortitude also represents a dynamic symbol for Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Good afternoon. I am Trinette Smith Campbell, Vice President of the Delta Housing Corporation of the District of Columbia and member of the Building Development Committee. I would like to take a few minutes to tell you about Alice T. Davis, the first president of this organization, a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and president of the Washington, D.C. Alumni Chapter, Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated, from 1966 to 1968. When we see Alice T. Davis, we immediately think trailblazer, visionary, humanitarian, and leader. Over 40 years ago, President Davis, along with directors Eva Spate, Vice President, Margaret Hawley, Treasurer, Elaine Jenkins, Secretary, Yoretta Adair, June Childress, Barbara Mosley Davis, Maxine Jackson, Marjorie Kennard, Naomi Newman, and Dorothy Shea Proctor embraced a vision to provide senior citizens and persons with disabilities a safe, state-of-the-art, independent living facility in the District of Columbia. Undertaking such a project aligned perfectly with Alice's background. In the early 1960s, she was president of the Medco Clerical Society, a nonprofit dedicated to educating the public on health matters and issues affecting the African American community. She was uniquely aware of the correlation between one's health and their living conditions. As often as we request, Alice recounts with clarity, vividness, and humor the early days of the corporation, constructing a building, engaging in community service, and managing family and work obligations. No doubt her Bachelor of Science degree in mathematics from Minor Teachers College, now the University of the District of Columbia, was put to good use to evaluate architectural renderings, floor plans, and manage the business and affairs of the organization. She knew when and how to assemble a team of knowledgeable professionals, each ready to embark on the same purposeful mission. In the 1970s, resources were scarce. The riots of 1968 were not far in the rearview mirror, and economic development opportunities were slow to materialize. As a hands-on leader, Alice did not shy away from investigating new and novel programs. Public-private partnerships forged to spark urban renewal were gaining traction. She learned of an opportunity to acquire a property with an old structure surrounded by a good amount of land in this community where we are today. During the groundbreaking ceremony on November 17, 1979, Alice commented in part to a Washington Post reporter, "We decided to look around for a viable project." She literally and figuratively took her team to new heights during all phases of the construction, from laying the cornerstone to walking the roof of the building. Alice, it is because of your leadership and fortitude that we are here today. And we are ever grateful for your vision that transformed this corner of the community and your lifetime of dedicated community service. We owe our unwavering gratitude to you for continuing to impart words of wisdom and encouragement to this board of directors. Thank you, Alice. And Alice is here with us today on the second row. And Alice, we do have some flowers that we are giving you today.
We are indeed honored to have Alice Davis here, and we are indeed honored to celebrate her vision, fortitude at Delta Towers. I don't think you understand the power of what that means to us as Deltas and to Alice, who's been a Delta longer than I've been alive. So, fortitude at Delta Towers. Can you say it with me? Fortitude at Delta Towers. Thank you. Fortitude at Delta Towers could not have happened without partners. And Cameron Kellum-Cloman will now come up and introduce and thank our partners.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to acknowledge our partners, Dante's partners, Bua Benite and Corey Powell, Gilbane Development Company, Ed Broderick, Blaze Rostello, John Keegan, and Bobby Gilbane. Motley Waller, Lloyd Jordan, and Charles Bussey. Reno and Kavanaugh, Megan Glasheen, Matt Greason, Jessica Babridge, Sarah Moleseed, Leslie Flores, and Frankie Orico. KGD Architecture, Tom Donahue, Estrella Amador, Bo J. Atalake, Jacoby Gastil. Wiles Mitch, Michael Sinal, Marcela Lopez, and Scott Weber. Bizzuto Construction, Mike Slagle, Mike Green, Laurie Bilski, and Matt Bland. Delta Housing Corporation of the District of Columbia, 2. Katrina D. Jones, Norma J. Stewart, Cher Castillo, R. Denise Everson, A. Chevelle Glimp Foster, and Vanita Hamilton. CDKM Consulting, Kim Mitchell. Fort Lincoln Realty, Michelle Hagens and Ivella Proctor. Answer Title, Donna Schuler, Catherine Allen, Tessa Edison, and Cindy Eagle. Determined by Design, Kia Weatherspoon. Our financial and public partners, HUD, Michelle Porter, Russell Connellan, Marvin Turner, Scott Gates, and Beth Hierker. Wells Fargo, Chris McGraw, Justin Sigmund, Chris Rutter, Kevin Hall, Rich Callahan, Chris Swank, and Vincent Toye. DCHFA, Todd Lee, Christopher Donnell, Calvin Jones, P. Tausu, Michael Hentrail, Tracy Parker, and Jeff Cooper. DHCD, Polly Donaldson, Allison Ladd, Aaron Wilson, Tiffany Jones, and Dion Joma. DCHA, Tyrone Garrett, Ron McGoy, Carrie Smizer, Alastair Smith, Andrea Powell, Darnisha Myers, Sharmita Evans Wilson, and Akrite Agarwal. And finally, the amazing folks who put together this event today, Asset Management Consultants, Charlotte Reed, Imani Green, Elaine Mayada, and Revive Catering and Entertainment. Let's give a hand to all of our partners. Now we ask DC Deputy Mayor Brian Kenner to come and say a few words.
Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? To say that this is a special day would be an understatement for a number of reasons. It just happens to be my birthday today, so I'm just going to throw that out there. But thank you very much. But I think more importantly, this is the beginning, as we heard, of a very long journey, and really the beginning of something extremely special. I am always happy to be here whenever we do groundbreakings or start projects like this, but this one in particular with the Deltas I know is particularly special. I made sure to bring my red tie today, just as make sure everybody knew that. Most people, I see some other gentlemen that also thought red tie. I also had the socks too, though. Want to make sure everybody sees these things because myself and Todd Lee just happen to be members of another fraternity that also has similar colors to you all. So wanted to. I'm not new to this. Yes, I'm not new to this. But again, we are here for a very special day here today, and I want to start by recognizing just a few people. Again, I'm Brian Kenner, the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development. Projects like this would not happen without the support of the Department of Housing and Community Development. The Department of Housing and Community Development, as was talked about earlier, is instrumental in providing the subsidy, that needed last piece of funding to make sure that projects like this happen. So we're very happy to have Polly Donaldson here with us today. Thank you, Polly, for all that you do. In addition to Polly, we have other agency leaders in our housing agencies that make sure that important projects like this happen. So we have the director of our Housing Finance Agency, Todd Lee. Thank you very much, Todd, for being here. And we also have the executive director for the D.C. Housing Authority, Tyrone Garrett. Tyrone, thank you for being here very much as well. And none of us, as I mentioned, none of us could do our jobs without the leadership of our mayor. Our mayor, a few years ago, the Washington Post said that this mayor, Mayor Bowser, is doing things in affordable housing that no one else in the country is doing. And I think that speaks to the charge that she's given us, which is that we need to be focused on making sure that we preserve and produce as much affordable housing as possible in the District of Columbia. Today's event actually happens to be sort of the conclusion of some additional events that we've had over the last week or so, something we call Roots to Roofs. Roots to Roofs. And as you've probably heard the mayor say, no matter whether you've been here for 5 generations, like her and her family, or 5 minutes, we want to make sure that you can live anywhere in the District of Columbia. And so we took a broad approach to try to reach that. Last Monday, about a week ago from today, we unveiled one of our first demonstration tiny houses that's located in Ward 7. On Tuesday, we had the great groundbreaking for an affordable housing apartment project in Mount Vernon Triangle called Capitol Vista, which is located in Ward 2. On Wednesday, we had the opening of our short-term family housing facility, the first one, the Kennedy Center in Ward 4. And on Thursday, we had the groundbreaking for a really great affordable home ownership opportunity located in Ward 7 called the Cynthia Townhomes. That was on Thursday. And then on Friday, we actually welcomed some new homeowners. Actually, it was an educator, a teacher, and a veteran to new townhomes that are located on Elvins Road Southeast and Ward 8. So as I said, those are a lot of wards, right? That's a lot of places around the city. We want to make sure that we are focused on getting affordable housing as many different places as we can throughout the city, which is why it's so great to be here in Ward 5 for the Delta Towers project, which is going to provide needed housing for many of the seniors, not only that are located in Ward 5, but literally all across the country. The mayor says that I have 3 jobs. And if I do those 3 jobs, I get to keep my job. I like my job, so I try to do those 3 jobs as much as I can do. I hear that is right. I've got to be focused on increasing tax revenue in the District of Columbia. I've got to be focused on getting D.C. residents jobs, and I've got to be focused on affordable housing. And so it is great when we have projects like this that will provide not only quality affordable housing that's needed, but also job opportunities and economic opportunity to many people who work or reside around this project. Every day when I come into my office, I have a ticker, and it shows me how many affordable units we have produced or preserved over the last 4 years. And we just reached a new milestone recently, which is we just got north of 6,000 units in the District of Columbia over the last 4 years produced or preserved. And so I am very happy that when I get back to my office, we will add 179 to that total. of units that have been preserved in the District of Columbia, and these ones in particular identified for seniors to allow them to age in place in an area that is up and coming, an area that is close to amenities. We are very happy to be able to do projects like this. And so with that, I want to say to you all, as the ambulance continues to go by me, I want to say thank you all very much for everything, for all of the toil that you all have gone through. Thank you all for persevering, and thank you all for allowing us to be a part of the fortitude at Delta Towers. Thank you very much.
At this time, we'd welcome Councilmember Kenyon McDuffie from Ward 5.
Good afternoon, everyone. Wow, it's a lot of, I was over there. I came from this direction, so I didn't notice how many people were here, and there's no way that I was going to let this event happen without being here. I do apologize for being late. I was down at the council really working hard to tackle some things for tomorrow, but I want to begin by thanking our mayor, Muriel Bowser, for all the hard work that she's been putting in over the years and for her efforts to make sure that this project came to fruition. Let's give Madam Mayor Muriel Bowser a round of applause for all her efforts. I also want to thank Deputy Mayor Kenner, Polly Donaldson, Todd Lee, Tyrone Garrett, all the council members who have been trying to make this happen, as well as the ANC commissioners and Civic Association leadership. And finally, I want to thank all the lovely ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated for all your efforts to make this happen. Please give yourselves a round of applause. I'm going to keep my remarks brief, but I'm so happy to be here with you today as we break ground on this addition to Delta Towers and to celebrate the 179 new affordable housing units for the District of Columbia seniors. And that's not all. This project also includes 18 permanent supportive housing units, as well as some ground floor retail, which I know we could use right here along this corridor. I'm always excited about the great residents we have at Delta Towers, but this expansion will only bring more vitality and, importantly, more residences for seniors in a walkable community, so as they age, they can stay right here in the District of Columbia where we all want them to be able to remain. You can clap for that. Absolutely. Providing affordable housing for those who need it is of tremendous importance to me, to the entire council, and to the leaders of this city. And I'm working every day on the council to address the issue of housing affordability in D.C. and supporting policies that help seniors and encouraging seniors who want to age in place to be able to do so. We must continue to use every tool in our toolbox to combat our increasing cost of housing so that residents can afford to stay and thrive in D.C. This project has special meaning for me because, as you all know, we're right here on Bladensburg Road, and I've been really working hard with the residents who live along this corridor, with the Department of Small Local Business Development, with the mayor and her staff to help improve and bring resources to this community around Starburst Plaza, with the work that we're doing on great streets, the work that we're doing with our main streets. It's all really important to continue to see this corridor grow and thrive along with all its residents. And so I'm really excited about what we all are doing here today with Dante's partners and all the folks who are responsible for making this happen. I can't wait to really cut a ribbon and just make sure that this project happens here today so we can all appreciate the continuing growth of Bladensburg Road. Thank you, Madam Mayor, again. Thank you all for being here and allowing me to be a part of this.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Kenner, and thank you, Councilmember McDuffie. At this time, I'd like to bring to the podium our dedicated, super hardworking, tenacious president of the Delta Housing Corporation, Antoinette White Richardson.
Wow. I am in a position to introduce the mayor, but I'm going to beg her one favor. Give me a minute. You all don't understand, and for some of you all around here, how historic this is. We have three, four of, and I do them in that order, of the original people who started this. We are not here because we just started it. We stand on 41 years ago, Delta Housing Corporation of the District of Columbia was founded. So we can just give a little attention and we can get her to stand again, and we're going to do it in order. Alice, can you stand? Everybody stay seated, but Alice, Maxine, Margie Kennard, put the camera down and stand. Barbara Mosley Davis. To be able to see your first building is awesome. But to be able to see a second building, you can't even begin to describe it. So I just wanted to, while everyone is here, because we don't know, we got 22 months to build this building, right? We got to give them their flowers while they can smell them. Now, my board didn't know I was going to make them do this, but these women have worked hard. So will the 2018 board please stand where you are? Thank you, ladies. And I always throw this in there. This is not our day job. We go someplace else and make 40 hours a week. This is our fun job. So I thank you for bringing us this far. One of the things I have to say, and I'm just going to say, all of those that are past board members of Delta Housing Corporation, D.C., just wave so they can see you. And we have one more person we want to acknowledge, because you don't get this often in this area. One of our past national presidents, Gwendolyn E. Boyd, please. And residents, we do this because we love you. And that's a good segue to me to introduce our dynamic mayor. On the paper it says our mayor, but I'm going to call her my mayor. She's my mayor today. Because this woman has a lot in common with what we stand for. She's a native Washingtonian. So am I. She believes, and I remember the day, I remember the day she met her. She was running for office, and she had one of our sorors in tow. I'm not going to call her name, but she was bringing her around on what we call the Delta Tour. And that's so that she could meet all the sorors who live in the District of Columbia, so we could meet this dynamic woman to see who was going to be the next Ward 4 council, which was my ward, then move from there to being the mayor. We are so proud of your commitment to housing, because you know, and I've heard you say it, you want affordable housing for the residents who've been here, whether they are native or just got here, but affordable, who are not able to afford some of the current prices in our neighborhood. They need to be able to stay. They need to be able to stay where they were born. They need to be able to stay where they decided to move to. And this has been her mantra since day one. I've had a chance to talk with her. I mean, y'all don't know, I'm a union person. Got to get that in there. But we have conversations people didn't realize some years ago about getting affordable housing for the residents of the District of Columbia. Little did we know this would evolve to this. So for that note, I thank you. The board thanks you. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated thanks you. And the Delta Housing Board is so grateful. And the only thing is, we all want to be here for that ribbon cutting. So let's keep praying on this so that we are here. So I bring to you, as they say, the hardest working person in the DMV, okay? My mayor, your mayor, our mayor, Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Well, hello, Delta Sigma Theta. I gotta tell you, you look marvelous. And I want to thank you. And let's hear it for your president, Madam President Tony. Thank you. And I'm glad your day job is with us because you help make all of us in district government look fantastic. This is indeed a remarkable occasion. And let me congratulate the founding members who are introduced for having a bright vision 41 years ago. I dare say, if you didn't have that thought and the persistence and the fortitude 41 years ago, we wouldn't be saving this corner for affordable housing today. So let's hear it for those women of vision. It is true that we set out 4 years ago with a really, really bold goal. To double what we were spending in our Housing Production Trust Fund, to look across our government for every opportunity to preserve and build new affordable housing, to be worthy of the trust that the council and the taxpayers put in us by getting those dollars out the door for the people those dollars were intended to support. And I will tell you, it's a hard job saving housing in a city that's growing as fast as ours. But when I look around this tent, I see an organization that can help us with another project. So let's find one. Are you with me? Right? Because y'all look like y'all have some money to invest. Don't they? Look at them. No sense in sitting on all that money. Let's build some affordable housing for D.C. residents. And you have a fantastic model right here. So let me thank your Councilmember McDuffie, who never has Delta Towers far from his mind. When you were putting together all that you needed to do, and when I look at these banners and see all the organizations involved in pulling money together, you have to be creative and persistent when you want to build affordable housing. So I want to thank the council member, my team at DMPED, the Housing Authority, who's also represented here, DHCD, and DC Office of Housing Finance. Please give them a big round of applause. I see you're also partnering with really one of the foremost thinkers in affordable housing in our city, Dante's Partners. Bua, congratulations on another fantastic groundbreaking. And I also have the pleasure of making another announcement. You will remember, council member, when I became mayor, we were spending about $50 million out of our Affordable Housing Production Trust Fund. I promised then to double that amount and get it out the door every year. And it was a battle to convince the council that we could actually do it because we had never done it before. But I'm very proud of our team that we've been able to do it, so much so that we're going to be able to do a little bit more this year, quite a lot. So today, October 1st, is the start of our fiscal year. We will spend $138 million this year out of our Housing Production Trust Fund. And next year, we've committed even more at $168 million out of our Housing Production Trust Fund. So what we know at Delta Towers, 179 units of affordable housing preserved for the residents who need it the most. And it is true, Tony, I do say that our city is for people like us whose families have been here for 5 generations, people who have been here for 5 minutes, too, who are moving to our city. But what kind of city would we be if we weren't focused on making sure that our seniors who have helped build our city, who have taught us how to run the city, could not afford to live and stay here. So in addition to our affordable housing commitments, we're making tax changes for single-family homeowners, Safe at Home program to make people's homes safe where they already live, transportation programs that allow you to stay connected to your families. You know the lesson that I want the whole city to know. The best senior housing that we have is the housing that seniors already live in. So let's preserve it. Let's make it safe. Let's keep it connected to all parts of the city. And let's also make sure that every ward, all 8 wards of Washington, D.C., has a senior housing plan and people like Delta Sigma Theta to help us get there. Congratulations and thank you very much.
I think the mayor just offered Delta $30 million. Thank you. Can we spend it? Can we spend it? Yes, we can. Thank you kindly. So we've talked a lot about elected officials. We've talked a lot about volunteers. We've talked a lot about our paid partners. But I don't think we've mentioned the people who actually live in Delta Towers. We're honored to have them present here today to witness this groundbreaking. So can our residents just give us a wave? Because this is for you. I don't know any new building concept where the people who are about to have to endure 22 months of construction are smiling because they know what's to come. And we are actually going to celebrate the coming of fortitude at Delta Towers by turning some dirt. So at this time, I would like the mayor, the deputy mayor, Councilmember McDuffie, Director Polly Donaldson, Director Todd Lee, the representative from Gilbane, the representative from Bazzuto, the representative from Dante's partner, Katrina Jones, Antoinette White Richardson, Trinette Smith Campbell, Angela Jackson, and Merlene White Price to please come forward and don your hard hats and grab your shovels. All right.